Basic conditionals essentially evaluate to true or false. So we can test things like, does A equal B? Does B not equal C? But what if we want to make our logic sound more like that? What if we want to say, if A equals B and B equals C? We can do that with advanced logic operators. Let's create two variables A and B. I'll assign 10 to A and 20 to B. I'll also create a C variable and set that to 10 as well. Next, I'll create a conditional. In this if statement, the condition I'll check is if A is equivalent to B. Now, let's put in a console log. And we'll just print out first condition to make sure so we can test this. I'm going to adjust the window size so that we can see the output below, because we'll be going back and forth pretty quickly. Okay, I'll save this page and refresh in terminal. I'll add an else case just so we can see when the case is not met. Save and reload the page, and we can see that the condition is not met because A does not equal B. Let's use the double pipe character as OR. And let's also check to see if B equals C. And let's also check to see if A equals C. So in this case, this can be read as if A equals B or A equals C, then first condition, else condition not met. I'll save this page and reload it, and we can see first condition is met because A does equal C, even though A does not equal B. Let's change this logic to check if A is equivalent to C. In this case, we should see the first condition. Refreshing shows us first condition. If I add the double ampersand, or and I want to check if A equals B, this can be read as if A is equal to C and A is equal to B, then log first condition, otherwise condition not met. Refreshing the page says condition not met because one of the two values here did not pass. It's also important to note that I can't do these as something like if A equals C or B or D. We have to do full, complete comparisons that evaluate to true or false. So this essentially becomes if true and if false. If we just did B, this would say if true and 20, which doesn't evaluate to true or false, which isn't quite what we want. So we need to do an equivalence operator. Parentheses also matter inside of conditionals, so if we wanted to make this a little more complex, I could wrap this whole thing in a parenthesis and do an OR statement and say if A equals C and A equals B, or B equals C, then first condition. We still get condition not met because neither of these are valid. We can also invert logic like we did inverting Booleans by using the not operator. Let's say we want to see if A equals B. I've wrapped this in parentheses because I can also use the not operator to invert that value. Essentially, we're translating A equals B to a Boolean and then getting the opposite value. In this case, A does not equal B, so we'll get false. But by inverting that, our result is going to be true. So this condition will evaluate on the value of true, which gives us first condition. So here this can be read as, if not A equals B, then first condition, else condition not met.